Well, the search continues this evening for suspects involved in a shooting that injured 5 people and terrorized a family reunion event at Africville. One of the victims remains in hospital. CTV's Hafsa Arif has the details.
Families are on site in Africville today, packing up their belongings and grappling with Saturday's shooting.
People screaming, people falling, running, falling. Children crying.
As the families prepare to leave, police are hunting for 2 gunmen who exchanged shots in a crowd of people during the annual Africville reunion.
They were struck with gunfire and they were taken to hospital, like I say, with what were believed to be at that point non-life-threatening injuries. There was one individual that was in their late teens that was taken for life-threatening injuries.
CTV News has been told the injured teen is still in hospital.
My heart is saying that it aches and it's painful because of we have people that are injured. And this is something they have to think about for the rest of their life.
Community members believe some at the event know the people involved.
People know who did this. Never mind this, they say, I don't want to be a snitch. Speak out. It's time for it to stop.
In the last 41 years of hosting the Africville reunion, it's the first time something like this has happened.
It was just chaos here. And then I was with my friend, and she learned that her granddaughter had been shot. Her niece had been shot. Another cousin of mine was shot in the leg.
The incident so devastating, some even say they may not return.
Will they be able to face and do things like this again? Would they want to come out into the community? Will they want to go to an event of such, magnitude as this? Maybe not. It's traumatizing.
We will not allow the incidents of Saturday to define who we are as a people. We definitely won't. We are Africville strong.
The Africville Genealogy Society has called an emergency meeting tomorrow evening. The president is requesting a safety audit be done to determine the safety measures or security measures needed for next year's event. Todd?
And we'll certainly watch for that. CTV's Hafsa Arif in our Halifax studio this evening. Well, it was another deadly weekend on our roads in our region. Again, we're reporting about a car crash that killed 3 young people, this time near Oromocto. CTV's Derek Haggett joins us. And Derek, they're all family?
Todd, CTV News has learned that the 3 people who were killed in Saturday's crash were related. A brother and a sister and a cousin from Moncton's Indian community. I spoke with a member of that community today here at their temple near Shediac, and he told me they're hurting right now. 19-year-old Navjot Samal and his 23-year-old sister Harman Samal and cousin Rasham Judge were killed Saturday night around 9:30 on Highway 2 in Mill Cove.
And being honest, everybody's in deep grief right now after this incident, because it's, they were not even too young. They were only like 23 at most, and everybody's in deep grief right now.
Police believe the crash occurred when the vehicle lost a tire, causing the driver to lose control and leave the highway. A GoFundMe campaign has been set up to raise money to send the bodies back to India. As of late this afternoon, around $75,000 has been raised. The campaign, set up by the older brother of the 2 siblings, says the 19-year-old was here on a study permit while the 2 women worked at a Moncton daycare. The tragedy comes around 6 weeks after 2 Indian citizens from Moncton were killed in an accident at Gibson Falls in Elgin, about 30 minutes west of the city. A 21-year-old man and a 24-year-old man died at the scene.
The boys were like too young for the incident, and even now this, it's not good whatever's going on.
According to police, the driver was taken to hospital on Saturday with non-life-threatening injuries. As far as the brother who lost his 2 siblings and a cousin, I did speak briefly with him today, but he said he was too much in shock to talk about the tragedy. Todd.
Derek Haggett in Moncton this evening. A 19-year-old man from St. Louis de Kent, New Brunswick, has died following a boating accident near Rishabakto. He was spotted in the water just after 6 o'clock Saturday evening. Following reports, he was hit by a boat. The teenager died at the scene as a result of his injuries. The New Brunswick Coroner's Office is involved in this investigation. The RCMP say an extremely dangerous substance is circulating following the sudden death of a person in Jardinville, New Brunswick on Thursday. Police have determined the death is likely related to a drug overdose. Police say the drug was probably contained carfentanil, which is significantly stronger than fentanyl, possibly in a blue or green powder form. A search has intensified in Cape Breton for a man missing for more than 3 weeks now. Members of Justin McDonald's family were joined by strangers headed out this morning in hopes of finding him. They spoke with CTV's Ryan McDonald.
Several dozen people gathered at the Leeches Creek exit off Highway 125 today to take part in a ground search for 34-year-old Justin McDonald. Leading the search were McDonald's parents, who haven't seen their son for more than 3 weeks.
It's crushing. It's brutal. You know, it's just one of those things when you don't know and you have no answers. It's just, there's no words to really explain.
McDonald has been missing since July 7th. Cape Breton Regional Police say he was last seen at about 11 that night at the Irving gas station in North Sydney. Today's search focused on an area about 6 kilometers down the road, but efforts to find the missing man have already spread further from his last known location.
Find a clue, find a piece of clothing, find something that might have put him in this area. And we don't know if, so we got to go from North Sydney to where the car was found.
McDonald's 2023 Kia Forte was found in this area, Ormond Crescent off Myra Road, some 25 kilometers away from where he was last seen in North Sydney, and nearly that far from today's search area along the highway at Leeches Creek.
Somebody out there knows what happened to Justin.
McDonald's parents say their son has always been devoted to his siblings who have disabilities and to his dog, and that it wouldn't have been in his character to disappear without telling anyone.
He would never do it to his father and I. Somebody out there knows where he's at. And whether he met with foul play or not, we want his body back.
Thank you for helping us try to find our son. That's basically all I got.
Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Leeches Creek, Nova Scotia.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
More tents will be going up in a pair of Halifax parks. 2 more designated homeless encampment sites have opened, bringing the total in the city to 6. CTV's Stephanie Sikos has more.
There will soon be tents set up at the Gary Street Green Space in Dartmouth.
So it's not a great thing that we're having to designate, but we're picking the least damaging spot in Dartmouth, right? Northbrook could not continue the way it was.
The space was previously used as a designated site, but the municipality removed it from the list back in February.
Right now, we've redesignated primarily to create a space for those people that are staying at Northbrook Park, which is not a designated location. And Northbrook has a playground structure and a trail through it, and it is quite narrow.
The municipality says risk assessments were done by Halifax Regional Fire and Emergency, with site preparation expected to be complete this week.
Gary Street has been swept for needles and a lot of other debris that you saw in there. There were some broken down bicycles, there was an old barbecue, all of those things have been removed.
Gary Street is one of 2 newly designated sites. Cogswell Park in Halifax is the other. There were already people living in tents there before it was officially designated.
That way we can bring more resources to it. For example, porta potties, garbage collection, water delivery, things like that that will now start up this week.
The municipality says it recognizes encampments aren't a solution to the homelessness crisis.
With more people becoming homeless all the time, we need a continual supply of units coming from the province to meet the demand. Otherwise, we slip back into a place of people living outside because they have no other option.
The municipality says if any of the other potential sites are open, for instance, the one at the Halifax Common or Point Pleasant Park, the public would be notified first. Stephanie Seco, CTV News, Dartmouth.
And a fire destroyed a pair of tents at a designated tent encampment site in Halifax over the weekend. This happened at a park space along Wellsford and Windsor Streets. The call came in around 5:30 Saturday morning. Halifax Fire said it extinguished 2 tent fires. There were no injuries reported. There were no eyewitnesses, despite a dozen other tents being occupied in the same area. No word on the cause of that fire.